Grace and peace, loved ones. What it do, what it do, what it do. Listen, you already know you are tapped into the most dangerous virtual lunchroom on the planet, the Lunch and Munch Meetup. We do this 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Tuesday. And listen, we are just so grateful to have another episode to present to you, to share with you, to discuss with you, right? So do us a favor, tell a friend and tell a friend to pull up to the meetup because we are currently in our series called Are You Really Adding Value? Are you really adding value? And the reason why we decided that we were going to start this series is because value is a buzzword. You hear it all over the place, all over social media. Every guru is talking about adding value, adding value, adding value. But what does it really mean, right? And how do you actually add value? So we have a bunch of guests that we're going to be having over these next couple of episodes and weeks who are going to be talking to us about how to add value in different areas of our life. So last week we had the awesome privilege and opportunity to have our brother D1 Gibson, and he talked about value and building community and how it is that you can build a community by adding value, right? And so we're going to be on this episode, we're going to be really kind of recapping and digging into what he presented and what he shared with us because we just don't want to gloss over these things. We want to make sure that we're actually um, feeding on and digesting this great information because we want you to be able to then apply it right away. Because here's what we believe at the Lunch and Munch Meetup, that you can't build anything bigger than you build you. So we are giving you all the tools, all the tips. We are laying out the red carpet, and we're taking away all excuses for you to be able to build the best you possible. So you have a strong foundation to build your best you, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals on. All right. So let's get into it. Sit back, relax. I hope you got your lunch. You pulled up to the lunchroom. Now you might be physically eating your food. Now it's time to get that word. It's time to get that spiritual, that mental, that emotional food that's going to allow you to get a well-rounded meal. You feel me? So let me bring my brother on and let's get to it. Bro, what's good?
What's going on, lunches? What's going on?
We in here, brother. How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. How about you?
Man, I can't complain, brother. I'm really excited about the series. We've been having a great time so far. Great conversation, and it's only going to get better, bro. It's only going to get better, man. So this series is something, as we talked about, this is what, the fourth episode in. We talked, man, like, look, if you not ready, if you not trying to grow, this ain't the series for you. If you ain't trying to grow, this ain't the series for you. So it's about that time, bro. So What's up, man? What's up? We had D1 on last week. D1, as always, came through, absolutely dropped mega bars, bro. Mega bars. And I got a few. I took notes. I know we both took notes. So
Yeah,
we gonna be going over some of these notes. We gonna be, digging into it a little bit as we kind of recap what he spoke about. And if you have not seen the full episode after this episode, go back and check that one. Go back, and actually, you might want to just go ahead and start checking. Go back to the very first episode of this particular series and see how we have transitioned or how we have progressed up to this point, bro. So, bro, look, man, we you know how we do it, man. We trying to get it, people. We trying to give it to you on your lunch break. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
So look, here's so what was so powerful, Wayne, is the fact that D1, and this happens often when we say, yo, listen, we need you to come on. Like, we have one thing in mind, but like, yo, it goes someplace different. It goes deeper than what we anticipated. And D1 literally taught a master class on how to add value. Not only did he teach a master class on how to add value and build community, but even for like creative entrepreneurs who are content creators and things along those lines, he even gave us a master class on how to create content that adds value, that is attractive to the community that you're trying to build. So I was like, yo, like, this is crazy. So yeah, y'all definitely got to check that out. So here is the framework that he laid out, man, that I wrote down. Okay. So he said, when building a community, the very first thing that you have to look at is you. The very first thing that you have to look at is you. He said when he started building his community, what he did was he looked in the mirror, in essence, right? Metaphorically, and was started to look at his life and ask himself, hey, what are some of my challenges? What are some of the things that I'm going through? What are some of the things that I'm struggling with, right? And not just that, but what are some of the solutions that I'm applying, right? That I'm currently going through and working through to help me be able to remedy some of these challenges that I'm going through. And a light bulb went off when he was going through that. And he said, yo, I can't be the only one in the world that's going through this, right? So let me share what I'm going through and how I'm getting through it. And that's how we started. And y'all talked about the Periscope days. I don't know if you're old enough because Periscope was popping at one point. So I don't know if y'all old enough, but if y'all didn't, y'all need to go ahead and y'all need to read a blog post or something about Periscope. You know what I'm saying? Because that was lit. So he went to Periscope and he showed up, and instead of him saying, man, I'm going through this, woe is me, instead of that, what he decided to do was he decided to say, yo, I'm going to share with people, even in the midst of my pain, even in the midst of my struggle, I'm going to share, right? Because I'm going to share what I'm going through, and I'm also going to share my solutions, right? He didn't just get on Periscope and complain. He brought solutions to the table, right? So the first thing that he did was he looked at himself, and he realized and he identified, had an honest conversation with himself, and realized the areas that he fell short, what he was going through, and he identified his challenges and solutions. And then he said he focused on one. So he said, look, there's somebody just like me. There's my past self, somebody, my younger self, right? That I can talk to, that I can help to kind of navigate through whatever that space is that they may be going through. So he focused on that one individual. And what he said was, by focusing on that one, he was able to attract many. Because
Yeah,
as he was talking to that one, the solutions that he was offering, what he was going through, was not just exclusive to him, but he found that as he focused on just helping one person, many people came, and he was able to service many people by just focusing on the one. That was two.
let me stop you. Let me
Go
stop
ahead,
you
bro.
right there, bro.
Go ahead.
Because part of my three, I had three, was adding value to one person.
Mm,
And what really hit home is that if you put your focus just on that one person, it's kind of like the pyramid effect. You know,
yes.
that one person is going to impact somebody else
100%.
that you might not ever realize it. but because you focus on that one person, they might pour into their cousin or their friend
Mm.
or a coworker, and then that transitions to someone else. And I think with that single-minded focus, bro, it allows you to say, okay, I don't have to worry about the numbers. And that was the next one. Don't focus on the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And as content creators, I think it's a cycle that we all get into, is because we're trying to meet a quota. Now, granted, guys, there are some businesses and creators that you have to execute on numbers.
Yeah.
You have to know what the numbers are. But from the standpoint D1 was addressing, was the numbers will come, but you can't put your focus on the numbers, or you'll just be firing missiles, not hitting the target. You're not really impacting because you're so concerned about the numbers. And I can look at that for myself. Like, we talk about the Periscope days where me and D1 came from, is, when I first got introduced to the platform, man, I was just setting my phone up and hitting live, not even knowing who was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I was so far away from the screen dancing that I couldn't even see who was coming in. And one viewer turned into five. Then I started getting invited to come on Periscope shows, and that five turned into 20, and it turned into 300, 5,000, 10K. But my focus was, let me just keep producing. I looked at me warming up to myself, you know what I mean? Working my own muscles, getting in the rhythm. And then it's like when that one person came, it was just me and that person.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to him focusing on the one and not focusing on the numbers.
Yeah. Bro, you right about it, man. And I think what's important about what you're saying is, I mean, and what the one mentioned was the fact that n- focusing on a lot of people becomes overwhelming, right? Because and he said by focusing on the one, that alleviated a lot of the pressure that of him thinking that he has to appeal to so many people. When you're focusing on the one person, that gives you a sigh of relief because you're showing up for one, right? And not to
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
not to say that when you're showing up for one, like you say, bro, you showed up for the one, but you showed up like you were showing up for 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
you know what I mean. So even though there was only one, even though your focus was one, you were still showing up as if there was 1,000. And I think
That's right.
that right there is one of the underlining themes in adding value and focusing on the one. If you focus on the one and you show up for that one like it's many, then what's going to happen
Yep.
is
Yep.
many is going to come. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so nah, bro, and that was, I think that was super super impactful and powerful. And the number three, what he said, okay, so we have you focus on you first, or you look at you first, and then you focus on the one, many will come, and then he said you ask yourself what they need. You ask yourself what they need. And I was like, oh, see, because that right there is that's the key, man. Asking them what they need. Actually see what value is, loved ones, is actually caring about those who you say that you want to serve, right? And we talked about this like 2 episodes ago. Or the question that I asked was, if you really believe that you're adding value, would you buy what you're selling? Would you buy it? You know what I'm saying? Would you buy it? And if you wouldn't buy it, then what makes you think that somebody, then that's something worthy of you giving to somebody else, right? So value is looking to literally pour into someone, as we go back to our original definition, and make their worth and their value increase, right? And we're doing this purely with the intent to see them win. right?
Yeah.
And that's what that's what was I thought was an overwhelming point, was that when you honestly are seeking to for other people to win, and you're pouring that energy into that community, that's how that thing begins to grow. And not only grow, but that type of value and that type of pouring into people, that becomes contagious, right? And like you said, then as you're adding value to this one in your community, then they now they're full, and then they want to pass it on to somebody else, and it becomes that gift that keeps on giving. And that's super important, man. And the last
Bro,
one was, oh, go ahead, bro, go. What was you gonna say?
let me and in that same token, he also said you can't be everything to everybody.
That's a fact, bro.
And that's a personal life trait. You cannot be everything to everybody. Guys, let's just face it. Trying to be everything to everybody leads to burnout.
That's a fact. Quick.
Trying to be look, trying to be, you don't even live at home with your parents, but you're trying to be their maid.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You know, your kids are grown and you still trying to parent kids that are 24, 25 years old.
Nah, man.
You cannot be everything to everybody. So focus on your tribe.
Yep.
Focus on the people that you have direct impact to each and every day
That's right.
or a few times a week. And so as content creators, as people that have communities or organizations, focus on the people that you have direct impact to.
Yes.
Stop trying to be the janitor, the teacher, the principal, you know, the assistant teacher. Stop trying to be everything to everybody, because you're not giving them all of you.
Yeah,
You're
you
giving
know,
them a piece of you by trying to be everything. So you can't be everything to everybody in that same of what POP shared.
100%, bro. Like, and I think it was so crazy, Wayne, that you mentioned that, because I think that is such a huge, like, for me personally, wanting to be or thinking that I could be everything to everybody was dangerous, right? And what I realized, though, is that me not focusing on the people who can really benefit from what I offer, I was I was actually how can I say this? I was actually doing them a huge disservice, and I was being selfish by me trying to appeal to those who don't need what I have, right? And so I'm pouring all this energy trying to give myself to people who don't need it at the expense of people who do, right? So I got a full course meal and I'm trying to feed people who are already full, as opposed to focusing my attention on people who are hungry and actually giving them what it is that they need. So that's me doing them a disservice, but that's also me being selfish, right? And me trying to, and for what? Like, what am I trying to, so I think it's important. I think it's very important, like what you said, man, is that we have to understand that it's okay to not be everything to everybody. It's just fine. Be okay with that. Be okay with that, and focus on the people that could really help, that you could really help, because that's how you're going to build community. That's also how you're going to also be able to connect with people of like minds, so you could build things, you could build bigger things than what you're able to do with your own two hands. The last thing, the last thing that I got from D1, after you have analyze yourself and had an honest conversation of what it is that you're dealing with and how you can be of this, and the solutions that you have to face your challenges. After you have focused on the one, many will come. You ask yourself what they need, right? And the last one is be the bridge. Be the bridge. And being the bridge, man, is, now that you know what they need, right? You focus on the one, the many came, you're adding value, you're showing up. Now that you know their needs, now it's your job to now take them from where they are to where they desire to be. That's being the bridge, right? And what I thought was so powerful about that is that a bridge doesn't force you to cross it, right? The bridge doesn't say, "Hey, come over here," and grab you by the hand and make you come across the bridge. The bridge simply is presents itself, and the bridge is a place, or is it, again, it presents itself, and its job is simply to be a pathway, right? It's simply to be the conduit by which you're able to get from point A to point B, right? And so being the bridge, and the reason why I'm sharing that is because I can understand how it could be intimidating to think, hey man, I can't lead nobody. Like I can't like if that's what it takes to add value to somebody, I can't do that, man. I can't be the one that I can't be the one that takes somebody from here to there. That's a big responsibility. But here's the thing. If you are simply showing up, being authentically who you are, with a heart to truly serve, then all you're doing, as D1 said, is you're sharing your story, you're sharing your challenges, you're sharing your struggles, and how you're getting in how you're getting through it. And it's in that sharing, it's in that caring, that you are equipping people to be able to utilize you as that bridge so they can cross from point A to point B without having to go in the water, swim with the sharks, and do all of those other things that could potentially do themselves harm. You and I being a bridge is could literally, loved ones, could literally be saving somebody's life. This is the power of adding value to people. The power of adding value to people is that you have the opportunity to literally save somebody's life. Literally save somebody's life. So don't look at adding value, or don't look at building a community as something that intimidates you and that's something that you can never do. No, 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 no. Think of it from the perspective of you get an opportunity to be a blessing to somebody. You have an opportunity to be able to potentially transform somebody's life and save them from the same pitfalls and save them from the same heartache and even pain that you had to go through in order to get to where you are.
You're now tuned into the most dangerous virtual lunchroom on the planet, the Lunch and Munch Meetup. We do this every single Tuesday, 12:30 EST. I don't know what you're doing on your lunch break, but you need to be pulling up to the meetup. You need to be pulling up to the meetup.
Yo,
While you wasting your time talking to Susie and Bobby about the game, about the soap operas, you can be feeding yourself.
that's a fact. No, that's a fact, man. And look, that's our framework, y'all. Like if you're a content creator, if you got a business, if you're side hustling, even on your job, for real, if you're in a position of management, and you're looking how to galvanize the people that are, that you need to work with, and you're trying to build teams, like this is a great framework and formula, blueprint that you can use, that's going to add that's going to, one, help you to do the me work that's necessary to add value. Because like D1 said, like, you can't add any value to anybody unless you first identify your own value, right? So you have to identify your own value first. So doing this me work allows you to become a stronger you, and you can then use that and repurpose that energy to help others become a stronger them. So this, I'm telling you, this series, tell a friend to tell a friend, pull up to the meetup, because this ain't, listen, we just beginning, we just scratching the surface, Wayne. We just scratching the surface, man. So that's all we got for the recap, bro. You got anything else to share with the people before we close on out of here, man?
Man, look, I need y'all to tap in. If you missed the episode, go back and watch it. I mean, we got at least at least 4 more on this. At
Yeah,
least
at
4
least four
more.
more. Yeah, at least
So
four
y'all
more.
tap in.
Y'all
That's
tap.
all I got.
So next week, D1 will be pulling up on us so we could do part 2 of this discussion, and we're gonna dig a little deeper. So that's gonna be fire. Look, we got some educators lined up that's gonna be on the show. They're gonna be talking about how you can add value to students, right? So if you're a teacher, if you're an educator, if you're dealing with young people or of any kind, right? You want to tap in. You want to tap into that. We got also someone we got a married couple that's going to be coming on, and they're going to be talking about how to add value in marriage. They're also going to be talking about how husbands can add value to wives and how wives can add value to husbands, right? And we're going to be hearing both perspectives. And also, what's dope, so if you're married currently, if you're considering marriage, if you're single, you need to pull up on that, because they not just going to be talking about marriage, they also be talking about the preliminary stuff that leads up to marriage, right? And how you can add value to those who you're courting while you're leading up to that to that matrimony, man. So that's also something that you want to tap into. So those are just two. We got a couple more guests that's going to be pulling up on us as well. So y'all most certainly do not want to miss this. And we're doing this for y'all, man. Like, we're doing this for you because and us as well. We're being blessed. I ain't going to front, but we're doing this. We don't want to keep this to ourselves. That's what our platform is all about, right? So without y'all, there's no lunch and munch. So we thank y'all so very much. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Pull up on us 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. We also, if you're new to the page, welcome you. We salute you. Thank you for pulling up on us. Consider liking this page, subscribing to our page, hitting that bell notification so you're aware every time we go live, every time we post a new video, every time we live on YouTube. And you can pull up on us on Instagram. All the information will also be in the description. So you can pull up on us. Let us know in the comments as well what stood out to you. You can hit us up on a DM and on Instagram and let us know, what parts of the show or what you would even like to see us discuss on the show. We're open to that as well. All right. So we love y'all to absolute life, and there's nothing that y'all can do about it. We're gonna see y'all next week. Peace.
Go.